I think I had a problem with the connection just now. Can you all hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, great. So I had a problem just now. Okay, it's 1:30 now. Can you see the shared screen? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so Vinay is here and Vishnu. And
Hello.
It's live in YouTube now.
Very good. Very good.
would you like to
I
start?
muted everybody, and whomsoever wants to talk, they can unmute and talk.
So,
Ask Mr. Vinay Kirloskar and other people to talk.
Yeah.
1:30 now. I'm sorry, it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Do you want to start?
Sir, very good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
Sir, very good morning to you all. Am I
Good morning,
audible?
sir.
Yes. Yes.
Good morning.
So, David, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
How are you? Yeah, very fine.
Kirloskar साहब है, पिनाकी, Mr. Pinaki Sen, Saurabh Gaji, Vishnu Katiyar. ये Lenovo tab. Who is this gentleman? Hello. Madam Lata Shetty is there.
Yes, I just saw. So yes, everyone, if you all can rename, that is, put the name that you want me to address you. Lenovo tab M10 must be.
Dr. Ajit has joined.
Yeah.
Hi, Dr. Iyer.
How are you, sir? How are you, sir?
I'm absolutely happy. Good to see you. A man with a wonderful cap, you know.
अभी क्या मालूम है? Why you must be wondering why this man wears cap. Abhi, I am very conscious here as far as my hair is concerned. I have lost a lot of hair, and now I have to wear a cap in order to speak to people.
I can only put it like this: you must have lost a lot of hair, but you have gained a lot of ground.
Abhi, I do not know whether I have gained ground, but यार बाल नहीं है तो मजा नहीं है ना.
Iyer sir, can I say something?
अरे बोलो ना सर.
Iyer sir, can I say? Iyer sir, I am in your boat. But मैं कैप क्यों पहनता नहीं मालूम है? अभी in lighter vein, you are wearing caps to everybody, each of one of us. वो क्वालिटी हमें नहीं है. I'll say Dr. Ajit will agree with me. सबको कैप पहनाने का जो आइडिया आपका है ना, वो हमारे पास नहीं, इसलिए मैं कैप नहीं पहनता हूँ, तो I lost my hair.
नहीं, विनय जी, मैं ये बोलूंगा कि अय्यर जी सबको टोपी पहनाने के पहले खुद टोपी पहन के देखते हैं, उसके बाद टोपी पहनाता है.
Perfect.
देखो, मैं दूसरे को टोपी नहीं पहना रहा हूँ, मैं खुद अपने सर पे टोपी डाल देता हूँ.
Just joking. It's just all in the.
इसलिए मैंने बोला lighter vein.
Very good.
In fact, मैं कभी सोचता हूँ मुझे भी टोपी पहनना चाहिए. There's too much of it. Keeps falling into my face.
Fantastic.
Okay, shall we start?
Praveen,
Sure.
can we start?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Acha, so I begin, maybe I just introduce and I hand it over to our facilitator, Mrs. Andal Krish. She is from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. She is our cousin sister. So, and she loves Indian people, Indians, and she is extremely proactive. So, what I thought was she will be the timekeeper, she will be the facilitator, and we have Professor R.S. Mani again. I don't have to really narrate his CV. He is a great academics, and he is the vice president of ITM institution. And last week we had a session with Mr. R.S. Mani, uh, the winning mindset. So I'll just maybe narrate just 2 or 3 minutes. Hope each of you are fine. Let me break a very happy news that I have written my second book, The Power Techniques. My dear friends, you should definitely read and recommend to your friends. Acha, now coming to the session, hope you have thoroughly prepared for this session to narrate one of the defining moments of your life, that is failure, which has made you a rock solid person. The theme is failure. Failure is not opposite to success. It is a stepping stone to success. Do speak about your biggest failure. It could be a professional failure, it could be a business failure, it could be a career failure, which has given a great thrust, great positivity towards achieving some definite goal. The basic guidelines could be something like this. Each participant shall be given 4 minutes or so to narrate his or her experiences. It could be in English. I think English could be better. I think Professor Mishra, if he would have been there, he would have insisted for Hindi. And dear friends, please make it interesting and tell us how you have handled or overcome such a challenging situation over the years. I think that's very important. Make it inspiring. Please complete it within the stipulated time, or it could even be completed much earlier. It is not necessary that you have to stretch it for 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes. You could even complete it in 3 minutes and make it interesting. Kindly narrate the challenges you have encountered in your professional arena, career, profession, consultancy, business jobs, so that it leaves an impact on the others. Make it crisp, interesting, and short. And we have, I told you, Mrs. Andal Krish as our facilitator. Our expert is Professor Mani, who is a veteran in the field of academics and is presently heading the ITM institution as a vice president. He requires no introduction, and you will be under the watchful eyes. Watchful eyes in the sense, maybe he will definitely give his observations. Maybe kindly take it very positively, because he has got years and years of experience. He must have interacted with several thousands of people. So we have invited him, we have called him, and he was kind enough to, accept our request. And, he is present, maybe even during a Saturday, in the morning, although, it's pretty busy. Andal, of course, is my wife's cousin sister from KL, Malaysia, and has a great liking for India and Indian people. She chose to be a facilitator and timekeeper. Her profile is something like this. She's an entrepreneur and has a vast experience in talent management and personal branding. She has a wide experience in human resource, which spans across Asian countries like India, UK, Middle East, and Japan. She is passionately working on subjects like women empowerment and entrepreneurship, and has participated in several forums organized by Asian Pacific economic countries. She is also a distinguished Toastmaster. Kalraj Media is our media partner, and Srinivas is the managing director. Actually, he does everything, whether he is there or not. He gives his platform to all of us. Thank you, Srinivas. On behalf of the influencers group, I welcome you all to show up your potential. Lastly, my dear friends, you must be wondering why Mr. Iyer and his team are doing all these things. You must be really wondering, why should I take out time? Why should I invest so much of time and do all these things, maybe without any remuneration, without all those things? The first point is passion drives me to do a lot many things. With my core team, with our core group, Vinod, Praveen Kumar, Konika ji, Srinivas, we are able to drive many things. Maybe Upsurge Plus, we have a webinar series. Maybe during November, we will have a leadership conclave. Our passion has always been to assist, help other young corporate professionals and students of management. With my 4 years of experience, I, along with my team, would like to give some kind of a direction to youngsters so that they can pick up speed. I always feel that human beings are growth machines and they'll be happy only when they progress. Anthony Robbins, a renowned author and speaker, puts it very nicely: progress is equal to happiness. So we cannot limit ourselves and need to grow and learn from other eminent professionals in the relevant field. The work which we are doing gives me enormous happiness, which cannot be described in words. Lastly, with people, professionals, and networking, I am also learning. I am also trying to unlearn. I am also trying to relearn. Please understand that I am not the, there are so many things which I keep learning from Professor and maybe from Andal also, and from my colleagues also. And tentatively, we have decided to have 3 webinars under Upsurge Plus. That is, we are looking at calling Mr. Shivanandan, ex-police commissioner of Mumbai. Mr. Prakash Iyer, he is the TED speaker and author of very many books. Miss Virali Modi, she is a TED speaker stuck into her wheelchair due to the paralysis from waist. And even Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, who is the author, Chanakya Nidhi author, etc. So this is my happiest moment. Now I hand over to Andal Krish, our facilitator for the session. You can do whatever you feel right. All people are professionals. They are excellent people. I have already told the timeline. You can take it forward. Over to you, Andal.
Lyer. Good afternoon. For me, because I'm in Malaysia, it's afternoon for me, so it's good morning to all of you. Quickly, Iyer has already done the introduction of myself and Prof. Mani, so I'm going to skip that part, but I just want you to have a look at the way we are going to structure this so that a lot of you can speak and we'll have time for discussion at the end. The introduction is done by Iyer, so we're not going to do that. Now, what I like to know is we are going to have 3 speakers at a time. Then Prof. Mani will come in and give his observation and deliver his feedback. So I need you to be clustered in groups of 3. So who can be the first 3 speakers? And you'll get 3 to 4 minutes, and not to exceed 4 minutes. I'm sorry, I'll do the most unkind thing. I might just mute you. So try to think of it as 3 minutes so that you can go forward and just wrap up within 4 minutes. So may I have the name of the first speaker? Who wants to be the first speaker? So we will not, once I've got the 3 speakers, then we can straight away start. So it'll be one after another. So who'd like to be the first speaker? Can you unmute and give me your name? Or can I just recommend? Vinay, can you be the first speaker? Vinay? He's not there. I saw him just now. Pinaki Sen, can you be the first? Can you be in the group 1? Thank you so much. So Pinaki will be one. Vishnu?
Yes.
Okay, Vishnu?
Yes.
Okay, great, Vishnu. Be the second person, the first group.
I could be the third.
Saurabh? You want to be the third? Okay. So I need a second.
I'll be the second. Lata Shetty.
Second is also okay, no problem.
Amruta,
Okay. Lata Shetty will be the second. Okay, great.
I got lost.
I'll stop share and just want to give you some ground rules. You have only 3 minutes actually. So you get another 30 seconds just to wrap up. And so we will go one after another. In this case, we will start with Pinaki, then go to Vishnu, or go to Lata Shetty, and then go to Vishnu. Then it'll be over to Prof. Mani, who will, of course, would be listening very diligently and give his opinion, or only what you three have said, because he's going to come in at every point once the three speakers are done. Is that okay? Can I get a thumbs up that you all have agreed?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Put a reaction button. Okay, so we shall start. I don't know much about you all. I didn't have time to talk to you all individually. So a little introduction about yourself, about your full name and where you're from, and what is your main focus of work. And straight to the point, which is failure is not the opposite of success, but failure is just merely deferred success. Success is going to come later. It's just a deferred success. Over to you, Vishnu. Sorry, over to you, Pinaki.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I'm Pinaki Sen. I am from Hyderabad, and I am working as the Director Marketing for a company named Ashwini Ayurvedic Products Limited. Now to start with the topic. Failure has got a motivating definition to it that is called a pillar of success. Now, I was wondering, like, if failures are pillars, then how would success look like? Maybe a kind of roof over those pillars? Maybe, kindly, an imagination. And now, if we see our lives in contrast to success and failures, or in terms of success and failures, so we'll have like an ancient Greek structure: pillars, roofs, pillars, roofs, because there's no one success. We need more successes, isn't it? So pillars, roofs, of course. Now the structure can be different for different persons. I mean, it can look like a Greek temple, or it can look like an inverted temple. We don't know. Because it all depends on the number of pillars we have. Now, coming to my failure, that's what I was told to discuss about a failure of mine. Now, I have to choose one amongst all these pillars. That's a little difficult thing to do. I mean, the other pillars will not feel good. Choosing just one. And choosing a big failure is indeed very difficult, because big failures needs big time to discuss. So I would choose a failure with an USP. It's not a significant failure. It's not an insignificant failure. It's not a very storiesome failure, but a failure, maybe, what I think, with a moral to it. It's very simple. Let's take, I'm from advertisements. I mainly take care of advertisements and strategies. So it so happened that 13 years back, we chose a type of advertisement that is called a testimonial type. All of you would be knowing the testimonial type of advertisement, shot with real people. And it was immense success. It was immense success. And then, as you know, success slowly dilutes. So over a period of time, it got averaged. And then the problem was, the failure to this success was that we could not come out of that testimonial type of advertisement. We are even doing it right now. We tried coming out, but it didn't happen. And then the success is now averaged. So the failure I had chosen is not a pillar as such. It hides as the roof. It is hiding inside success. Now coming to the moral of the story. The moral is what I feel. There's no formula of success. We cannot formulate it. It doesn't follow a definite pattern. So the success which has come through one thing may not come if you continue to do the same things. This is moral number one, what I feel. Moral number two, success often makes a stereotype. That's something we have to avoid. You know, there are, as I keep telling, there are failures hidden inside your success and success hidden inside your failures. Stereotyping is a big problem. You can see it happening with film stars, with pop stars. Michael Jackson, 1983 to 1990, he was a king. And then we all learned what is moon dancing. So it's a kind of stereotyping that happens. Some part of it is obviously inherent, but you should try to come out of it. Moral number 2, that's moral number 2. And moral number 3, we should analyze success as we analyze failure. It's always very relevant, because now this is a little contradictory to when I say that success doesn't have a specific pattern, but still.
4 minutes.
Okay, okay. So that's it. And the last moral, what I want to say, the very last moral, and just give me half a minute. See, the last moral is, feel happy if you are also an absolute failure. I'll tell you why. The last thing of our life, the last structure has to end with one pillar without any roof. Because at that moment, we had tried to breathe and could not. We had died. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was brilliant. So may I now invite Lata Shetty? You have only 3.5 minutes.
I hope to complete in less than 3 minutes. I always believe that the shorter, the better. Leave people thirsting for more is what I believe in. So be sure, ma'am, that I'm going to be brief. Okay. Yes. So my very, very respected colleagues here, RSS Mani, who's my kind of, colleague from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, where I've done my PhD from, you ma'am, and of course Iyer sir, and all these very distinguished people here. What I'm going to do today is share my experience, which happened about almost 30 years back, and the learning still continues. It was not a mistake, I think I made a blunder, but the learnings from them were maximum. Okay, a little bit about me. You asked me to say, I'm into training and development for the last so many years actually. Yeah, I set up my own consultancy. I gave up my job in Godrej and Boys. I was teaching in this, and then I set up my own training and consultancy kind of organization. Okay. Now our topic today is, what are our learnings from the failure? My failure, I'll tell you. About 30 years back, we did not have this laptop. We didn't have these cell phones, nothing. But when I started on my career in MTNL, I got a letter from them saying that you can apply for a tender. What is a tender about? To cover 6,000 people in 300 batches within 6 months. Okay. And of course, in all my bravado, I didn't know what is a tender also. But still, I had the guts, the gumption to fill up that form and pass it over and submit it to them. And on the day, it was announced. There is a procedure for it. I now know that you have the technical bid, that is, you're qualified for it, and then comes the financial bid. And that room itself, I remember, it was full of very confident, suited, voted guys. And I used to, be a very modest-looking South Indian lady with one little juda and sari, and we are all looking, so very, very confident, and and when they called out the name, well, I was selected. And why was I selected? Because I made the biggest mistake of my life. I had quoted a figure which was far too less. Okay, that was my mistake. And I also had to make a film within that small budget which I had given. Now the learnings were huge. In fact, it was a time when it was very stressful. I did not sleep. Sometimes I used to cry in the bathroom. How will I do? But the way I managed it, the resourcefulness with which I did it, without compromising on the quality, is something I still cherish. What all did I do? Tell me. Now, in that small budget, I wanted to do quality work. I did not care for money in that idealism, So I trained a group of young boys and girls. Most of them were girls rather, and I actually trained them in what? Because 6,000 phone mechanics had to be covered in 300 batches in a short span of 6 months. So all these girls, I trained them. I coached them. To this day, they are grateful to me for getting them into this profession. Secondly, what did I do? Now the content was on customer service. So I had devised some guru mantras of customer service. Turantata, Achukata, Madhurta, Sampurnata, Samparkata. So what did I do now? Those days, as I told you, no PPT, no nothing. Acetate, OHP and all we had. So I took the help of a commercial artist. I told her, this is what my idea is. I want you to put that in paper. And I got acetates. You know, those days we used to have acetate paper. So I made a bunch of all of that and gave it to each of my trainers. And they were young girls. I insisted they have to wear a sari and go, in spite of all their grumbling, because they look a little more mature. And these phone mechanics are a little senior types. They often ask a lot of questions. And yes, that is how. And 6 different centers at the same time, my training used to go on. And this was my first ever kind of a big project that I handled at the start of my career, 30 years back. Then another big mistake I made was, those general managers, you know.
Minutes already.
Sorry, ma'am.
It's already 4 minutes.
Oh, ma'am, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Okay, I'll just tell the main learnings from you. Okay, I'll only say that.
Don't worry. We are going to have a time for discussion later. Then you can tell us the second story.
No, just this. It was on focus on solutions. Always be resourceful. Never give up. Resilience all the way. Bring out the sisu in you. Bring out that strength in you at all times. Never give up. Never compromise on quality once again, in spite of all the, issues that you have. I'm so sorry. I got so carried away narrating my story. I wanted you to be much before time. Actually.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now may I invite the third speaker for group 1, Vishnu. Actually, I wrote a message in the chat group because I'm sure you have a much nicer, longer name, but I just have Vishnu here. So go ahead, Vishnu. You're the third speaker.
Good morning to all. Let me introduce myself since this is my first, interaction with you all. My name is Vishnu Patidar, and I'm from Delhi. Let me give you a small introduction about what I do, and then I'll continue on the topic. I'm a business manager with deep international business experience, spanning strategy, marketing, product management, international business development, and export sales. Currently working in West Coast Group as a senior manager for exports. My work is to identify the potential markets, customer requirements, marketing and exporting products to the global markets, especially to the America, Europe, Africa, and Oceania region. I've got more than 10 years of multi-industry experience in managing PLL, implementing AOP, writing business plans, so on and so forth. So regarding this particular topic, I personally feel that failure shapes you in a vital way. Well, I do believe that success and failures are equally disastrous, but you learn more in failures than you do in success, actually. Over the years, I have faced different challenges in my career, and I have stood up to them to my full potential. I had one such incident when I used to work with Shakti Pumps India Limited back 10 years back, I believe, yes, which I'm not very proud of, but it was an important for me to happen, this particular incident. It was during my initial years, at the beginning of my career. I was a member of a team in Shakti, which was responsible for the business development in European region. At that time, Shakti was expanding its horizons to the international market, especially to the Europe. So the team was responsible, for that particular business development in the European region. We were given the responsibilities to achieve the target of 5 crore per month. So the overall target was 60 crore for the particular team. From territory head, it was told that you want to choose whatever market you want to work on, and I did some research and I got to know that someone in the past have worked for the Balkan region. So well, there was no business, but he has done some of the research regarding the customers and all the stuff. So it might be a way, it will make the things easy if I'll choose that particular market to work on, because initial work was done already by someone else. But I was wrong. We've got the market. I've got the Balkan region, and when I started working on that particular market, Although the database was already built, but I got to know that the particular person who worked even 10 years back, I started working in that marketing year 2012. Someone in year 2005 has, not only did the initial work, but has sold some of the products, which was not the forte of Shakti Pumps at that point in time. Shakti Pumps, if you know, is the largest manufacturer of stainless steel submersible pumps and motors. At that time, the agricultural pumps was their forte, not the industrial pumps. In the year 2004-5, they were in developing stage of developing that particular product range. Someone has sold these pumps to the European customers, which were very quality conscious at that point in time, and the product was not finalized and was not good to sold at that point in time. So what happened actually is I started working in a market where the company is already having a bad name. So then I thought that I've got into a problem, that now I do not only have a responsibility to sell the product, but first I have to do the work from the scratch again. Not only to, it's quite easy to enter into a market, do the positioning, marketing. Yeah. So then I got to know that all the the big customers, which were the target customers, have already got this product, a faulty product. And then I did I did rigorous working. I interacted with them, did the regular travel asset and their market, and I make them understand that now it has been it's been 6 years. We have improved our quality and all. You need to take at least a sample product or something to test our quality now. And then I started developing that particular market. But at the end of the year, we could only achieve 88% of our target. Obviously, although everyone praised, because Europe is not an easy market to sell any product. I personally felt disappointed with my team's collective effort, especially mine. During the course of that task, I gained experience required for working in the corporate environment first, and Europe, in particular, this particular region as well. I took it as a motivation to yield improved numbers in coming years, and when the next target was given next financial year, we achieved it. What I learn from this is that shortcuts do not lead you to the success, the first thing, and the difficult path definitely leads you to the beautiful destinations. You should not run towards the shortcuts and something. Smart work is a good thing, but shortcuts are not. And both success and failures are equally disastrous, as I said. But you learn more in failures than you ever do in success.
Okay. Wow, it took 6 minutes. But never mind.
Yeah.
We learned a lot from you. Okay, now it's going to be the exciting part, another exciting part, where Prof. Mani has heard 3 of you speak on different types of failures, and he will make his comment. Prof. Mani, you have only 3 minutes.
Right. Good morning, everybody, and it's a pleasure to be here with fellow professionals. Thank you, Iyer, for facilitating this. It's such a pleasure to meet people after such a long time on a digital platform like this. And Lata started mentioning our interactions at the Tata Institute of Social Sciences. Of course, Praveen is part of the ITM family, so it's always a great opportunity to meet up with him. Dr. Ajit has been part of our visiting faculty at ITM Raipur, and suddenly it looks like we're having a get-together of known people. So wonderful, and thanks Andal for setting the tone and also ensuring that people stick to the clock. So my time starts now. I think what I'm beginning to understand is, as professionals, we need to be reminded about things we already know. We don't need to be learning something new always. And that's precisely the journey that we started with Pinaki, followed by Lata and Vishnu. I think one common thread which came so strongly is every adversity presents an opportunity. Every setback is a stepping stone to a comeback. It's just that we need to train our mind to accept this. I wonder how many of us remember Dr. Abdul Kalam made this very simple, profound statement. He said, failure, look at the word fail, and it's an acronym. And what does it teach me? First attempt in learning. Repeat, first attempt in learning. A very simple message from a person of that stature. Unless we start trying, unless we start experimenting, how does one even know whether we are going to achieve the goal? And Vishnu, through his story, and Latha, through that wonderful experience of MTNL, gave us a very clear idea that unless I tried, one is not going to be able to walk the path of success. I wonder how many of us who are Mumbaikars remember the group that she was training belonged to MTNL, and MTNL was infamously known as Mera Telephone Nahi Lagta, which simply meant that do what you may, but it's very difficult to communicate using MTNL. And training thousands of those people was, I'm sure, a really wonderful experience. And here is where, when I come back and I was listening to Pinaki, this whole idea of integrating failure and success was amazing. Because what very often happens is we tend to celebrate success and analyze failure. Whereas I've always believed that even in the success, there could be an analysis. What could we have done better than what we achieved, as Vishnu said in his own context? And why do we not celebrate failure in this sense that we've achieved something at least? Why not at least celebrate that much? And in this rat race, as all of us parents in this room, as I visualize, aren't we also guilty of being in the rat race where we very often condole the fact, and I repeat, condole the fact that our child lost 0.5% and don't celebrate that the child got 98%. And this, unfortunately, is the fact that we look at failure and success as two distinct entities. And here is where I'd like to summarize by just saying, none of us really plan to fail, do we? We always plan to succeed. But let's look at the word plan to fail. We don't plan to fail, but unfortunately what we do is we fail to plan. Please read the same sentence, reverse direction. And I believe, for one, if we plan, the simplest way to overcome failure, and that will lead to success. So these are some of the learnings which got very beautifully reinforced by Pinaki, Lata, and Vishnu. I'm very eagerly waiting to listen to the other speakers, and I'm handing back to Andal to continue the proceedings.
Thank you, Prof. Mani. And you were 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Fantastic.
Thank you.
You put so much into it. Okay, so I'm going to back to the gallery view. I had put 3 names in the chat box. Only Dr. Ajit said yes, he will. So the other 2 are Saurabh. Saurabh, are you there? Okay, you said yes as well. And third one was is Dr. Ambadi. Ambadi, are you here? Ambadasi. Would you like to speak with the second group? Because I don't have anyone else. What about the person with the name Linovata? May I know your name, please? Can you rename? Okay, what about Vinay? Are you here, Vinay? Vinay, are you here?
Yes, I'm there. Yes, I'm there.
Okay, so you'll be in the third group.
Yes, I'm there. I'm there.
Okay, so we are
Yes,
pleased
yes.
Dr. Ajit, Vinay, and Saurabh. So, Dr. Ajit, can you start, please? You have 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Before you start counting my minutes, Andal, happy morning to one and all. And I want to share, before you start counting my minutes, I want to share this with Professor Mani. MTNL का आपने बहुत अच्छा बताया. I just want to share, just to give some little bit of humor in this. There was something called BSNL, BBA. So we had something acronym for BSNL also, and that was Bhitar Shahar Nahi Lagta. And then there was somebody intelligent who gave one more meaning to it. He said, "Bahar shahar nahi lagta." So na bhitar shahar lagta hai, na bahar shahar lagta hai. Usko hum kehte the BSNL. So these acronyms are also really very interesting sometimes. Anyways, Andal, you can start counting the time now. You're very meticulous about it. So that's why. Thank you so much. I'll start with a story. This is early 1980s. Kapil Dev, I'll go to cricket. This is a match, I don't remember the statistics exactly, but India versus England. India needed some 20-22 runs. Kapil Dev was on the crease, and Kapil Dev was known for hitting those sixes. There was a full toss, and he hit the ball. It was in the air, and it falls short of the boundary. Got 4, didn't get 6. Next ball, again a full toss. Kapil Dev hit it a little bit harder, still more closer to the boundary, but didn't cross the boundary. And there was third ball, and in the third ball, again he hit hit that full toss. Hit that full toss on 3-4 balls. He made his whatever efforts, but he didn't get the 6. India lost. And after the match, the captain and the expert players are interviewed by the media. So one person from the media said that, you failed to make those 3 sixes. Had you achieved those, might be India would have won the match. Kapil Dev said, "Sir, I didn't fail. I was short of my efforts. I was short of power. If I would have, applied more power, I would have been able to hit those sixes." And that learning continues with me throughout my life. So I say I have never failed in my life. At best, I have been short of my efforts at many occasions. And as far as, the learnings are concerned, see, there are 3 things. One is there is an idea, and then there is conviction, and there is action. So you have an idea. If you are convinced about the idea, you go with an action. Now from Kapil Dev, I'll move to Mr. Subramanian Iyer. Mr. Iyer had an idea. He wants to write a book. And he was convinced he is a great author and he will be able to write the book. And he did that action to actually write the book. So, idea, conviction, and action, all 3 were in sync. Until unless all these 3 are in sync, you will not be able to. I'm sorry, you please delete these 3-4 seconds. Until unless you are not in sync, you will not be able to do your best and cherish the desired fruits. I always ask in my thought engineering sessions, how many times Taj Mahal was made? And now it's a question to you. How many times do you think Taj Mahal was made? Anybody? Anybody? Please reply. Once? At best, you may say it was made twice. Somebody will recollect Burhanpur ke paas bhi there is one Taj Mahal and all that. But let me tell you, Taj Mahal was made thrice. And for that matter, every project in this universe is made thrice. The shirt which you're wearing, it is made thrice. Let me explain this to you. There is something called, and I'll just give me 1.5 minutes more, something called desire, belief, and action. Formula of D, B, and A. Desire is what comes into your conscious mind through your eyes, because our senses, 5 senses, these are kamnae, the interest which we develop, because I look at Mani sir wearing such a beautiful jacket and the desire comes, I should also have that kind of a blue jacket, beautiful, so this comes because of my eyes, my senses, and this goes and makes house into my conscious mind. Then comes the belief. You need to have a plantive belief, and this belief, the reservoir of belief, is actually stored in your subconscious mind. So the desire has to be in sync with the belief. If you believe that, yes, you deserve, if I believe that I deserve that kind of a blue shirt, I will definitely get it. But if I, for example, there are people who say, I want to have a Lamborghini. If you ask me, honestly, I don't believe that I may be able to buy that Lamborghini. That doesn't sink in my subconscious mind. But yes, if you want to say maybe Audi, yes, I think I can buy an Audi because I have a belief. So there are three things: desire, belief. Once you put this conscious mind and subconscious mind both in sync, and then you have real upskilled actions, desire, belief. Even many people say the law of secret doesn't happen, law of attraction doesn't happen, it doesn't serve any good. The point is your actions are not in sync with your desire and your belief. Your actions have to be to the point, it has to be upskilled, and it has to be with full energy. I'm sorry if I have overshoot the time. Andal, over to you. I am a trainer. I love to speak and I can speak for hours together. And I had to put it in 3-4 minutes. I don't know how much time I took.
It's okay. It's okay. 4.5 minutes is fine. We heard some really amazing stuff. So that's great. Now, can I call upon Saurabh? Saurabh?
Yeah.
The screen is yours.
Yes.
Hi.
First of all, thank you so much to give me the opportunity to talk in front of such great people. So start off with my introduction. I'm Saurabh Gaji. I've done my MBA in HR, and recently I started with my career. And after listening to Ajit sir, I need to restructure my sentence. Fortunately, I have a series of efforts, less efforts I've taken to achieve the things I wanted to have. Started off with I'm very passionate about cricket, always. So I started going to auditions and competition, all that. So number of time I failed. Then and after that I never attended to go for selection and all that. But I always have fear of failure. But then somehow that passion drive me to go for it, and I end up being a vice captain of my college cricket team. And after that I always had a stage fear. So but that that passion, and I have taken efforts to able to play cricket at a good level, that helped me a lot. So I've started with the orientation program in my college. I've participated, and I again ended up being a runner up in that in that competition. So what I say is it's it's not the failure, the thought we have, we thought like what if I fail, I always had this thought that what if I fail. But then I started thinking like what if I I get success in what I'm trying to do. So that strived me to go for any kind of thing I want to achieve in my life. So that I followed through last few years. And I'm very happy to say that within 3 months in my in my career, so they have promoted me from intern to HR executive a day before yesterday. So I would say instead of thinking about failure as a step back, we can look at a failure as a stepping stone to anything you want to achieve. So yeah, that's it. That is from my side. Thank you so much.
We're getting below 3 minutes. Thank you. Okay, now I've got Vinay Kirloskar. I saw him going in and out. I'm not sure whether he's back. Yes, Vinay, you are here. The screen is yours.
Yes, madam. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. You're audible.
Great. I thank you for everything, and I will not spend more time on introduction. Good morning, all of you. Actually, this failure and success, both the words are parallel to me, because by spending around 42 years in HR, failure I don't feel as a failure. My earlier speakers have already said a failure is not a short of efforts. What I really remember Kapil Dev's example given by Mr. Varwandkar. One thing I'll let you tell you, that when we say about MSEB, it's like BSNL. It is like Monday to Sunday electricity band. So from that point of view, when we were young in youngsters, I was youngsters, we used to call it MSEB, that apne paas ghar mein light nahi hai. So I always used to say that why light is not there. And I started my career in HR, and I always feel that I should enlighten my career by giving life to other people. I am from a very this background, Brahman family. So we always see that, yes, we should respect each other. But when I came to industrialization, I thought that respect is not suffice. So when I started little aggressive in my life, I feel that I am little very aggressive and I'm shouting at the people. My boss, my gurus, my seniors have told me, I know you are very frank, you are very firm, and you are very fair in your life, because I always fall in love with F. It is fair, firm, and very frank. So from that point of view, I started, but I thought that I was getting into that last F, that is failure. I converted that failure in my success. My stories.
His bandwidth is pretty bad. I saw him going in and out. Is he back? Vinay, are you back? He's not back yet.
He's not yet connected.
Yeah. So I tell you what, we let him continue afterwards. So Prof, oh, there he is back here again. Vinay, do you want to continue?
I'm audible, madam.
Yes, you are. Go ahead, Vinay.
I'm audible, madam.
Yes, you are. I think you don't have a video on because your bandwidth is pretty weak. Go ahead and continue.
There was some issue about this thing. Okay. Yeah. Great. So when I started in industrialization, I was just talking about my fairness. So to avoid this F, what I've done that I have corrected myself, because when we use, basically in my area, the communication is almost important. When we communicate, we go along with our own thought.
Yeah. They've lost him again. He actually has two devices here.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. Vinay?
Yeah. I'm audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you. So what happened when I have been continuing in one company, that is Reliance Industries Limited, though I have changed a lot of sites. I've been grown up in one culture, when in one culture. So what I've done that I have started creating my own impression in the company and in my department, and that I would proudly say that though I'm aggressive, I have started understanding the people, and my seniors have told me. So I'm coming to that from my impression. I want to say that when I talk about failure and success, when in communication, we always face a lot of issue in communication. In HR, we always face a कल जो आदमी काम कर रहा था आज अलग से बात करता है परसों अलग से बात करेगा. So I have understood my own impressions when communicating to the people, and I have converted my anger, my eagerness to soft and sincerity towards the people. I'm not praising myself in my work, but when I work in industrialization, I talk to union members, I talk to my colleagues, I talk to my public relation people, I talk to all political figures. So when I want to compare my own culture, my own culture, company culture, my original culture, I have worked this particular failure. Again, I repeat, failure is the short of efforts. So every day we are learning something. When we talk about failure, it's a short of efforts. So what I mean, when we have a professional life, every day make mistakes, and I always believe that one person who is concentrating his job, he ought to have a mistakes and he will definitely overcome it. Now we are at a situation that when we make a mistake, it's a loss to company culture. But now to overcome this particular thing, we always strive for all the time importance to the company and the culture, the profession. So in this particular situation, what I want to say, failure comes success, that we never fail in our profession, but we have to strive for each and every step for more efforts, more success, and have a target towards the achieving goal of our own personal goal and the company goal. Thank you, madam. I thought I feel that I am not going to limit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vinay, and thank you for coming back and completing the story. Otherwise, you would have left us feeling, oh, he didn't get a chance to tell us the whole story. Now over to you, Prof. Mani. You've heard Saurabh, Dr. Ajit, and Vinay.
Certainly. I think it was a pleasure listening to Ajit emphasizing on desire, belief, and action. Just kind of reminded me of a lovely filmy dialogue which says, वादे अक्सर टूट जाते हैं, कोशिशें कामयाब हो जाते हैं. And what's so important in this entire journey of transitioning from a failure event to a success event is focus and efforts. And this is what Ajit emphasized so beautifully in his share, in his story. Of course, Saurabh brought us a nostalgic memory along the lines of Ajit on cricket and so much of cricket that India is so passionate about. I guess somewhere what happens here is it's this passion that makes so much of a difference in our success journey. The only important thing we need to remember, and I say this very often to colleagues, failure is an event. It's not a person. As soon as we can distinguish the two, I'm confident people will not have the fear of failure which Saurabh was talking about. We unfortunately have this very negative approach when we start telling people that you are a failure. I strongly believe that the action done by an individual in a certain situation or a circumstance could have led to a failure. But saying that you are a failure is casting aspersions on that person's character and integrity. And this could demoralize, this could demotivate, and this could destroy the self-esteem of the person. And therefore, time and again, we keep saying this, that please distinguish the event from the person. Then we will see more and more people attempting to do things which they've never tried before, ready to take risks without the fear of failure. I'm also not recommending that we allow a certain target of failures per month or per quarter for performing employees. But all that we are trying to say is, can I accept that failure is part of the work ethos, it's part of the work process, and that it ultimately is a stepping stone for success, is what we were just talking about right in the theme. And I'd like to sign off for this round by saying, success is a continuous journey. Do believe that you have reached a point in success when your signature is seen as an autograph. So if you've reached that stage somewhere in life, I think you can start feeling that, hey, I think I have achieved a good degree of success. But please remember, we are still saying it's a continuous journey. And therefore, the question to be asked every day is, what can I do better and better and better? Thank you. Back to you, Andal.
Thank you so much. So in a nutshell, what happened a few minutes ago with all the three speakers, if I picked up two things today, it will be that if you're short of effort, then perhaps you don't have success. So just increase the effort. The other one is, of course, failure is really an event. It is not the person. So I love that. Right now, we have come to the third part now. I have three people here who have not spoken. So I put it in the chat group. Nobody has replied. Dr. Pranjal, would you like to speak? And Ambadasi, would you like to speak? And of course, Lenoa Tab, I've asked for your name. So you're the only three people who haven't spoken.
Ramesh.
Dr. Pranjal? Okay, go ahead. Then after Dr. Pranjal will be Ambadasi. Are you
Yes.
all right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I will.
All right. And then after that, the person with the Lenoa tab. Would you like to speak as well?
Yes.
May I know your name? I'll rename you. You are?
I'm Ramesh.
Okay. I'll put it down as Ramesh. Okay, go ahead,
Yeah.
Dr. Pranjal. Your version of that failure is only deferred success. You have 3.5 minutes, Dr. Pranjal. Dr. Pranjal, are you here? Or shall I start with Amba Desi? Yeah, perhaps I'll start with you.
Yeah, yeah. Good morning, all. Good morning, all. Learning from failure is a very quite interesting subject. Basically, I'm Ambadas Yadav. I have done my BCom MSW and working as a Assistant General Manager HRIR in Alcargo Logistics Limited, Navi Mumbai. In IR, communication is very much important, and to speaking on this, to learn from failure is a very much important topic. Determine the reason, cause of the mistake is important. Involve team to discuss on the issues. Stop wasting time on loser. Take responsibility on your actions to be specific error. Don't let down your mistakes define you. Value of learning from mistakes show your how you making. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ambadas. Well, yes, it was less than 2 minutes, but a lot of important points for us to consider. So if Dr. Pranjal is available,
Hello.
Dr. Pranjal? Okay, Dr. Pranjal. Okay, otherwise, Ramesh, you can go ahead.
Yes, yes. Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi.
Can't hear you. You're not very audible.
I thank Iyer sir for introducing me to this group. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Mani, sir. Thank you. Could be learning a lot. Basically, I am a boxing champion at the national level. And I've been in the ring for a long time. And I'm a trainer. I have used my skills to help people to be fit enough, because working in industries, I found that people are not very fit. So my basic business is making people fit and healthy. And I give a huge value to fitness, mental health, and human values, helping people. I've got a range of work, like from industries to schools, colleges, and corporates. Okay. Now, what exactly is failure is, I will tell you. For me, failure is the stepping stone for learning, because failure is never a failure. You learn something beautiful from failing. I will give you an example of the first day of my boxing in my 8th standard, when I was selected by my coach, who is Mr. Ajit Singh, the Asian champion and an ex-serviceman. He saw me, he said that tomorrow you are going on the ring. Day 1 is to go and train with him. The day 2 is on the ring. I met a very senior boxer in the ring who would be in the college, and I was in the school. So my main aim was to take the 9 minutes. Even if I do not get the required points, I was to learn that how does this work out. So it was beautiful. The experience was excellent, where I had a sore jaw, few troublesome days, but I got in the 9 minutes completed at the ring, which gave me an example to go ahead and confidently be a part of the boxing squad, so that I can aspire in my, but I lost the fight. Losing the fight taught me to see how I could win the fights ahead. So today I'm a corporate trainer again. When I'm training someone and I find that there is something wrong happening, I'll help them to see the right values and go ahead. So this is my experience. And I work with more students also to help them to be more successful in their mission of education. So that's it. I will be happy with this point of talking. Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir.
Yes, under 4 minutes. Wonderful. And I'm so impressed that you are actually a boxer. I'm also a corporate trainer, and I always incorporate yoga into my sessions. So yeah, a bit of sports.
Yes, ma'am.
Session is amazing. Okay, then we have, I hope we have Dr. Yeah, Dr. Pranjal, are you here, Dr. Pranjal? Are you ready to speak? I don't see him.
I still don't see his audio network activated. So
Yes.
maybe there is a connectivity issue.
I think so. So over to you, Prof. Mani.
I thought I saw Praveen wanting to say something. Is that right, Praveen?
Okay, Praveen, that's great. Yes.
Yeah, I would like to share my thought on how I took on the failure in my career and become successful. Like basically in 2 phases of my life. Like because I started my career in teaching with ITM, then I was dreaming of coming back to corporate. Like from teaching to corporate, I wanted to always make my career. So when I shifted from Warangal to Hyderabad, from teaching profession to corporate profession, initially I had a lot of problems, hiccups in my early career in advertising, content writing, and everything. You will not believe, like the first copy I wrote in an ad agency, my boss said, in your lifetime you cannot never become a content writer. So I took that as a challenge. So like what went wrong in my learning? Like so I for me, failure, like when you take that is in a positive manner, and when you continue your passion corrects everything. Like if you have passion, you can learn anything. Like so from passion you put in a lot of hard work, and the hard work lead to learning, and learning makes you master in any career that you choose. So that's how I learned the nuances of content writing and corporate communication, and I started working with various multinational companies in my career. And when I parallelly started, after working with multinational companies for almost close to a decade, I started consulting work also, like branding, comparing, content management, content website designing. All these things I started as a consulting work. So the consulting work requires a lot of client interaction. Initially, again, I used to have a lot of inhibitions in talking to clients, and I used to back more on the taking inputs online and over phone. But
Praveen, you got muted by mistake. Just unmute yourself. Continue.
Yeah. So when I started the content services as a consultant, I initially I used to bank more on the taking inputs online over phone, like. But like somebody, one of my friend who introduced me to one of the expert in this field, he has advised me like I need to bank more on the client interaction, because each client, though some of the clients are similar in terms of offering services and trying to promote solutions, but there may be some kind of customized outlook for each and every client. So that's how I started interacting with the clients. I used to personally go and meet them in their working places, and I used to get that insights and a lot of the passion with which they start selling the smallest ideas. They wanted to magnify them into big workable solutions and services. That's how I started interacting with more clients. And now, like some of the clients, still I remember some of the clients which I traveled through them for more than a decade. Till now, they wait for me to again, in terms of any content to be developed, any kind of promotional materials to be developed and designed. They always wait for me, and they prefer me over others. So that's how, like, the passion leads to hard work, and hard work keeps you you open for the learning, and learning is the ultimate motivating factor for mastering over anything. So that's how, like, I changed my failures into success. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So since we have already had 3 speakers, Prof. Mani, over to you for your comments.
Sure. So I guess the learning continues, and wonderful points coming in further. I'm reminded of something very basic. When we are allotted a task to do, or we choose to set a target for ourselves, the fear of failure often brings this thought in our minds that I can't. And someone had rightly said, in I can't, just break it into 2 portions. I can, and leave the T alone. And for T, just say try. So I can't to be converted to I can try. And if that is done, it's a wonderful starting point. In fact, right in the beginning, between Ambadas and Ramesh, they were talking about responsibility, rising to the occasion. What is responsibility all about? I think it is our responsibility. Given a situation, how we respond to the situation. So it sounds very similar in English. Whether you talk of responsibility, I receive it as responsibility. And here is where I'm again reminded of a lovely Urdu couplet, again from the filmy world, where they say, Roshni gar khuda ko ho manzoor, aandiyon mein charag jalte hain. Now, I'm not getting into religion. For me, the word khuda here is effort. If I am determined, if I am focused, if I put in the effort that is required, and I repeat, Roshni gar khuda ko ho manzoor, aandiyon mein charag jalte hain. And that's precisely what we are saying. What can I do to cope up with the situation? What can I do to move from an event which was a failure to one which could be successful? I again quote Dr. Abdul Kalam, who had said once beautifully that we cannot change our future, but we can change our habits, and perhaps they could change our future. And I think it is so simple that this entire approach to coping with failure, or redefining the relationship between failure and success, is truly in my hands. And one suggestion that I have, based on the gray hair on my beard, as I always say, is learn to disconnect the emotion. Failure brings in huge amount of emotions. Most of them are negative. Success brings in huge amount of emotions. So much of them are positive. We said this before. We tend to celebrate failures, and very, very rarely. We must celebrate failures as attempts towards reaching success. And therefore, when I look at the entire journey, which was explained by Ambadas and Ramesh, and further down by Praveen, all that we are saying is, can I concentrate on the journey? If I end up in a situation where everything is going against me, can I simply follow the principles that we do in any computer? Refresh, restart, if required, reboot, and of course, in the process, resurge towards success. So let's keep telling ourselves, don't find yourself against a wall. Refresh, restart, reboot, and I'm sure you will resurge in the process. And this all, believe me, is not difficult if we are able to disconnect the emotions. Human beings like you and me are always known to be emotionally attached, motivated, detached, disturbed. But then the question is, if I want to develop myself, all development, as they rightly said, begins with self-development. So if one can integrate some of these in our life journey, the learning will continue. We will continue to encounter failures and successes, but maybe the way we look at them might totally change. Back to you, Andal, so that we can continue to engage in some discussion with our participants.
Very much. And the 3 R's: refresh, restart, and reboot. That's a message that we can all take back and use that very often when we are lost and don't know where to go. So that brings us to the end of the facilitated part of the program. Now we have about 10 minutes where we can have an open discussion. So I will suggest, Ajit, do you want to facilitate this part? Since you know them, and would you like to facilitate the last 10 minutes?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, you
Yes,
are.
please.
Acha. See, the program went off very well. I think the participants gave their best. I think all the 9 participants were, so very good. They were so very practical. Of course, Andal, I don't have to, the way, under the banner of influencers, impromptu, you look great. Huh? You look great. PK, you have always been doing a fantastic job. Keep doing it, keep doing it. I think we can reach the moon. As far as Professor Mani is concerned, today, he has just come here as an expert. But I think the learning from Professor has been just impeccable. I have no words. I don't know whether Dr. Ajit or maybe few other people can, speak on Professor. The way he has summarized, the way he has articulated, the way he has put those points. I think he has made this particular program so beautiful, so beautiful. I think it will remain with us for a very, very long time, very long time. And thank you very much, sir, for taking out time and coming to us. As far as the failure is concerned, I think I should narrate a small incident. Maybe I think, sir, that would because I have encountered a lot of failures. I think then success. One such failure, I think I have already narrated to you, that I would not like to repeat. Maybe when I was an industrial relations manager, I did not possess the skills of an industrial relations manager, but by virtue of my experience and qualifications, the company promoted me and I became industrial relations manager. And when the union came and union asked for some few things, I was never prepared. I was never prepared, number one. Number two is I did not have the confidence to face the union. And when can you have the confidence to face the union? Only when you are thorough in your subject, then only you can face. I did not have that. And there was some, there was some argument. And in the process, one of the union member broke the glass of my table, So in anger, I went to the vice president. I went to the corporate office. I went to the vice president, and I don't know, maybe a very childish prank. I submitted my resignation. I said, sir, I cannot continue in this. I cannot continue in this, fashion, because the union representatives are uncouth and you are all pampering to such an extent that they broke the glass. So the vice president heard me and he said, Mr. Iyer, don't think that you are indispensable. You can go, you can put your resignation, we will accept your resignation, and you can go tomorrow, you will not get a job. Let me tell you, you have crossed a particular age and the jobs are not easy to come by. I would like to pinpoint one thing before you go out of this office. One thing is, number one is, we have selected you as an industrial relations manager, you are a management representative. And you should have the skills and competencies. Forget about the union, etc. You are a very special person to the management, and management has installed you with a designation and with perks. Somehow you just could not manage, and you have exaggerated the incident, and you have come here, and it is just because you are you are not capable of handling this particular position, you are submitting your resignation. Please think about it. Please think about it. I am much senior to you. Please think about it. Go back to your office and refrain from submitting a resignation like this, and speak to the union. Speak to the union. Be thorough in your subject. And in case if the union is asking something, it should be genuine. Understand that the union is fighting for a cause, not bullshit, not to bulldoze you. I understood. I went home. I discussed with my wife. I felt that I made a very grave mistake of submitting a resignation to the vice president. What vice president said was absolutely right. I was not skilled. I did not have the competency of an industrial relations manager. And when you don't possess the skills, knowledge, and attributes of that particular position, you seem to handle your job in a very stressful situation. This is what I wanted to narrate this. Anyway, thanks a lot. The program went off very well. And thanks to everybody. Over to you, sir.
Okay,
Can I just take one moment?
Yeah, sure. I was going to ask everyone to say something. So you go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just want to share one information with Saurabh Gaji. He's a cricket fan, and in fact, every one of us should read a book by authored by Mr. Saurabh Ganguly. The title of the book is "A Century Is Not Enough." It's a fantastic book, wonderful, inspirational book, how to learn from failures and how to rise above it. And this is one of those books, I started reading and I ended finishing up in just one sitting. I couldn't stop. That's a wonderful book. And Saurabh, you should definitely read because you are a cricket fan. And
Definitely, sir.
Yeah, and Andal said, to summarize or whatever last words, again, started with Kapil Dev. I want to give you a story of Sunil Gavaskar. It's a very small anecdote. He has authored a book called Idols. You must have read it, a few of you. If not, please read that book. Again, a wonderful book. And then in that book, there is somewhere it is mentioned, someone asked Sunil Gavaskar, what do you do when you get beaten on a ball? What do you do when you get beaten on a ball? Sunil Gavaskar says, I look at the next incoming ball. And that's life all about. Wish you all the best.
Thank you. So Vishnu, the last word for the day.
I just want to say it was great learning, listening to you all. Obviously, from different backgrounds, different experiences, it all adds to the, to the knowledge, the learning and all. So it was a great session. I attended, and it was an honor to meet you, to be a part of this group, all these seniors, and it was great learning for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vishnu. Let us the last words for today.
I'd like to just say I loved Mr. Iyer's very honest, sharing of that experience that will stay with me forever. Now that how I goofed up, especially when talking to the union guys, it's a different ballgame altogether, I know. So it takes a lot to, to share that how I feel so miserably. And of course, the kind of learnings must have been multiple after that. Because I had spoken to a lot of IR managers, and they tell me that it is one of the most tricky things in the world to talk to them. And suddenly they can, say something opposite of what you have said and get you into a trap.
Yes.
And yes, thank you, Mr. Iyer, for that lovely share.
I've done industrial relations as well. Very painful process. Okay, Pinati Sen, your last few words.
Yeah. It was very nice indeed listening to all of you. The takeaways are many. Probably the thing I learned more than what I had not thought of so far was, to stay in the ring for those 9 minutes. That was nice because, yes, failure also has got success in it, isn't it? So staying the guy, Mr. Yadav, I suppose, he stayed there for 9 minutes and that was his success. To him, it was success. So it matters to me, not always how success or failure is defined. And everybody, I would once again break the time limit if I go on to speak about everybody. Everyone, even the nice lady who told about her experience. That's what's something interesting. Failure may not be a failure. It might be a success unknowingly. Like there's a saying, I don't remember. There's a saying, it's a blessing in a curse in a blessing, something of that sort. So the curse might end up as a blessing. You never know. So just go on, just trial and error, just go on fighting and don't think. And last, Mr. Iyer Saab, wonderful experience, very honest confession. In fact, I had dealt with union in West Bengal. And they did almost the same things, was Mr. Iyer told. Of course, I didn't have a glass on my tabletop. They couldn't break it, but they broke the leg of the table. And I was there. And I also felt a bit frightened. But later, I learned it by myself that, they have an agenda. As the lady was telling, they have an agenda. And they'll never hurt you. They'll never, at the end, they'll never hurt you because it's a police case. So knowing your enemy, not an enemy, knowing the other strategy may be a good strategy for yourself. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramesh. Your key takeaway?
Yes, ma'am. Excellent. I was very happy and I thank everybody in this group. And this sir has told about the book to be written about Saurabh Ganguly. Sure, sir, we'll read that book. Again, I would like to give a last simple talk. Iyer, sir, there are some relations which, union and company and all these things which I have gone through. I'll share with you one in the next meeting. But one thing which was told to me by Mr. Gaitonde, Mr. Gaitonde was the director of Century Inca, and I was working as a technician in the company. So he told Ramesh, you're a boxer. So a boxer doesn't waste his punch. Whenever you punch, the punch has to be perfect. The timing has to be perfect. And that is how you become a more successful boxer. That advice was given. A very senior person, director of Century Inca, Mr. Gaitonde, is not there now. And he told me one more thing, that, sir, I want to sell my profession of boxing to the people. So he told me one beautiful thing is, he asked for 2 cups of tea from the canteen. And he said, these are 2 cups of tea, which cost just 25 paisa. But in Blue Diamond, this costs about 50 rupees or 100 rupees. The day you think how you'll sell your cup of tea at the cost of 100 rupees per cup and spending just 25 paisa to make it, you are a good, successful boxer as well as a marketing person. Vinay sir, thanks a lot. You appreciated the 8 minutes. Thanks, everybody.
Your key takeaway? Just one takeaway.
Yes, thank you.
I just wanted to make two observations. One, the fact that people in this forum came up and shared so willingly, dared to share, is a huge challenge when it comes to discussing failures. I think all of us love to talk about successes, glories, great stories of achievements. But the thought of discussing failure, compliments to Iyer for the thought, and Andal and team, including Praveen, to actually make it happen. And I think that's the significant learning which we said somewhere before. If I start disconnecting the emotion from the whole thing, then maybe we would be happy to discuss as much as failures as we would like to discuss successes. Just that observation. Thank you.
Vinay couldn't speak. I don't know. Ambajas, that's one key takeaway from today.
Fear to speak in public speaking is very much a problem with me. I can convince individual or group of people, but I learn from this today's session. I will speak in public, and very soon, whenever our next session or I will get opportunity, that time I will speak nicely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, Vinay, are you here? No, I think he's out. So that brings us to the.
Yes, I am there, madam. Yes, I am there. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
One key takeaway.
Yeah. One takeaway that I really appreciate Mani sir and Dr. Vijay, Dr. Ajit. I always attend many programs, and I always shared with Mr. Iyer. Whenever anybody tells that this book to be read, and I invariably buy the book and read it. So I thank you, Dr. Ajit. Definitely, I will share my experience of Sachin Tendulkar's book, which I read in next session because of the short of time. One thing, when Mr. Iyer has shared the incidents of interrelation, I have many examples of union leaders. Yesterday only, I can share with you that we have got 9 unions and we have got COVID pandemic. So we normally arrest the people. Arrest means we check their all parameters at the gate, and we always say that COVID authentication. So there is a 3 part of checking, that whether you are a COVID negative, whether you have entered your all details, whether you have done everything. So while checking this, people face some technical issue, and they said that no, we will not follow that. And yesterday at the gate, that many 10 people came together and they stopped the gate. Yesterday itself morning. I could understand, and we normally get into the action, but in the pandemic situation, we are running the factory with the help of the people. We could control the emotions of people with the great what we have in security and all that. But that particular patience what we had, and really what I feel, what Professor Mani has said, that what Abdul Kalam has said, that we need to have a patience, and we industrialist people, we always keep a patience, that I've learned in a lifetime how to keep a patience. That's all, madam, from my side. Thank you very much. A nice session. I thank Mr. Iyer for giving this opportunity.
If I can add.
So we were very good. We did it within 90 minutes. I would like to sign off now. We've got another program. Thank you so much for the opportunity here. But I called him fondly Bannu, who's my cousin's husband. And of course, working with Prof. Mani is a pleasure. And I'm greatly privileged and humbled. Thank you so much, Prof. Mani. And meeting all of you.
Thank you.
I don't speak Hindi, so I missed quite a lot of your humor and things like that. But I understood the main gist of it. So until we meet again, goodbye. So may I sign off now, Manu?
Bye. Bye all.
Bye.
Before we go, I would like to extend thanks to all the people, especially Pinaki Sen, Lata Shetty, Vishnu, Dr. Ajit, Saurabh, Vinay Kirloskar, Ambadas Yadav, Ramesh Ji, Dr. Pranjal, and I also extend my warm gratitude to Ajit Varwandkar sir, who always behind us for initiating such wonderful events and programs for the benefit of more people across India. And I thank Andal ji for nicely facilitating the program. And I also extend my gratitude to Professor RSS Mani, who took time out of his busy schedule and given his expert this thing. And lastly, I would like to we are actually we are happy to know that I.S. Subramanian sir has written his second book, and on behalf of Upsurge and Kalaraj Media, we would like to host a book launching ceremony on coming August 15th. Most tentatively in the evening time, around it will be somewhere after 6 o'clock. So because you in the morning session you might be busy with flag hoisting ceremonies at your respective places. So we are planning to host a book launching ceremony online where we'll officially launch the book and we'll share his ideas. So I will anyway extend the invitation once it is done, and extend the Google Meet IDs and everything with you all. And thank you for taking your time on this wonderful Saturday morning and spending your valuable time and experience with all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.